guys, TheCampingRusher here. Welcome back to Factions Base Tour, a weekly series here on my channel every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Today we review a Factions base here on the Archon, Factions Red actually. And the commenter, the IGN was new with an underscore, and the faction is Ethereal. And two owners, McLean 12 and new. Thank you for your comment, my man. It got some thumbs up, got some attention. I checked it out, and the base is fabulous. But it's got kind of a unique pattern on the inside compared to usual, and the real treat is the outside. The defenses on this thing. I said this last week. The defenses were the best I've ever seen. This week may top it. This week may top last week. We'll see. We are still in the very early days since the faction reset. It's been less than 3 weeks since we reset the server, so still a perfect time to come play on the Archon if you're looking for a faction server. But let's get right into it. So first off, the interior. How it works is there's like different boxes, but the first area, this is their main storage area. You can check it out. They got lots of armor, of course. We'll get the exact in the calculation. There's always got to be a storage area, and these guys, they do it simply. It's their home platform. Simple, nice. You know, the wood on grass, the wood and the brown and green design, the nature design always looks good. And I don't know the story with this, RIP Matthew 2015 Junior Mod, but apparently they pay a large respect to their faction members because they've... Oh, God. As I break their bedrock. Oh, God. That's my bad. Alright, I gave them another piece of bedrock and their sign back. My God. Well, that's just a great way to start it off, isn't it? Well, it did look nice. No, they'll put it back up later. So then you come up to the next floor. Simple. Everything's kind of compact, and I know, in my opinion, it's nicer to see these massive interior bases with tons of room to move around. Sort of what we saw last week's episode. But in, like, the grand scheme of things, the smaller your interior is, the more you can focus on defenses and the gaps and the walls and putting your claims to actual defensive use. So that's why it's almost, well, it may not look as good, but it's more efficient to kind of keep everything compact. And you can do that with a blaze spawner because you don't need the iron golems to fall a ton. So they keep, keep this very compact. They can fit, we'll get an exact calculation, but they could fit at least, 40 to 50 blaze spawners in these two little areas. And of course, the beautiful bedrock. They've got the E for ethereal. That's hard to say. They've got that, and easy collection here and there for the items dropped. And then over here, another checklist. Scout walls ran out of size. Be rich. Give split bedrock. I don't know. TPA here saves bases. All right, so we've seen that before. Again, made out of bedrock. I feel like bedrock is the thing that signifies what is important to a faction. And to this faction, it seems to be, some of their ex-members or whatever the story behind that block is. And their checklist, making sure the team is up. And then their logo. You got to keep team morale up with the bedrock logo. And then you come to the top, AFK pool, nothing too special here. Now, I'm going to do /ascend to kind of show you guys what's going on. So, when we /ascend here, and I better not go that way, I'll go this way. We were just in this little cube right here. We haven't checked out this cube. We were in this middle cube. And in here, it's already all rated. I think they must have been rated here before or glitched into or someone TP'd and made a mistake. We'll ask the members that once we get to that. So I won't even check out that. It's just a rated base. And so we just checked out here, and now we're going into the last part of this base, and that is just up this way. Here is the top of that base. They got I love the writing there, the font of that, the E for ethereal. I gotta stop saying it. Again, another logo on the top of their base. You can see them all down there. Let's just head in quickly. We are in the top cube now, and again, bedrock spawn platform looks good. None of these chests are filled with anything. I think this is their idea of expanding, and in order to make it, safer and just more secure, they have split the cubes. They've split up the boxes. There's two different boxes, and they kind of all have the same purpose. So I assume once the box that we just checked out fills up, as in all the chests fill up and, you know, all the spawner room is filled up, then they'll move everything up here. But they've already gotten started on this, and you can see they've got lots of storage room available. They've already started on golems, I believe. Are these golem? I think these may be golem. Yeah, it must be golem spawners. And then a parkour course. Always a parkour course. You can never go wrong with parkour. And then they got some raiding chests here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Area closed for construction. You must wear hard hats. Well, that I've never seen this before. Well, just to make sure no he gave me a hard hat. Yeah, I don't think there's much going on. They're still planning what to do with the stuff in there. But that's that. Like I said, a very simple interior. Now for the good stuff. We are now going to do the outer defenses. So first off, the interior defense here is an ocean, and it's kind of a different style I've ever seen. So you guys know how these walls work. These are, you know, obviously gen walls, the normal gen walls that we've seen tons of times before. This base is on the corner. You can obviously tell they have no protection on that side, on these two sides. This wall is of course on the border. You would not be able to float a wither on this wall. It would just push you off. One thing I've never seen before, though, is they bring in these walls around this interior part of the base. And like I said, it's such a small, you know, width-wise base. You don't have to cover that much land. Everything that's built here is to protect this little gem, I guess. The gem is the base. And the reason I don't think I've ever seen this is because usually you don't want water running all the way down. The reason for that is boats. You can boat across and you can land your ender pearl. But usually if the base is dry, if you can't hit the roof with the ender pearl, then you just end up hitting the wall and falling to your death. But now, even if you hit the ender pearl at the lowest part of the base, you're still going to be able to climb up this thing via the water and therefore be able to launch a wither cannon. And that would make this base basically an easy raid. Well, not easy, but time consuming, but still doable. Definitely doable. But with the recent addition on Archon, boats are no longer craftable. But I think 1 or 2 servers they are. But I don't think on Factions Red they are not craftable. So boats aren't a problem. Therefore, I think this interior wall strategy works. But now let's see the grand finale, I guess. This is their outer defenses, of course. Let's see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 walls, plus a massive ocean with walls underneath as well, and then their final outer wall. Oh my god! Like, are you serious? Like, you guys remember last episode last week? I think this is bigger. This is much bigger. Like, you cannot even render, you can just render in the walls. And of course, this stretches all the way across, dude. Look at this corner part. Imagine the amount of time to place all this water. You can't render in the corner. That's how freaking far it is. That is so much blocks. Even if you were to wither cannon this base, you have to take down the tops of each wall, and you know, so you can launch a cannon through. Just to take out the little tops of each of these walls would take hours. Absolute hours. It would be so much time. Such a strong base. And I'll F map here without showing the chords. So there's the bottom part of the F map there. It doesn't actually have a huge, massive claim. And the reason for that is they are on the corner, so they don't actually need a ton of power. They do got 679 land claim though, so they've put a ton of power into this. But we have seen bigger, but due to the corner, obviously very advantageous via power. And there it is. This base is insane. The defenses are probably the best I've ever seen, even better than last week's. And with that, let's go get some stories from the faction members themselves. Gentlemen, McLeaner and new _. How you doing?
We're doing good.
Good. You guys got a nice little setup here. Kind of a compact interior with the best defenses I've ever seen, I think. Holy God. Well, boys, let's get right into it. I got a few questions for you. I'm sure the viewers are wanting to know. I definitely want to know what the history of this base is. Keep in mind, everybody, we are only less than 3 weeks after a reset, so these guys are doing pretty freaking good for the server and the economy, everything being reset, they've only had like 2.5 weeks to get to where they are. So I guess we'll start with the standard question. How long has the base been up?
Well, the base has been up since the start of the reset,
Okay.
but we kind of delayed like the building process a little bit.
Delay. So you kind of spread out the building process.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. And how much, like, that water out there specifically, like, how long has this base taken you? Like, straight hours or days? What is the time it's taken you to build this monster?
I'd say it took probably about 3 to 4 like full days.
Full days of working. Wow,
Yep.
dude. Well, I...
It was especially
Yeah, you go, you
oh yeah, because we also had to do like an ocean outside, and that was like all full source blocks, and that took us about like 17 hours to
go. 17 hours. Did you take a lunch break or anything?
do. Yeah.
Good, good. Wait, so is it, and did your boys help you out, or is it really you two are kind of the men behind this base?
There was like 3 to 4 people helping out and some allies.
Okay, allies too. Man, dude, that is that's phenomenal. 17 hours just for the source ocean, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I assume it's going to good use. You know, you've basically been up for 2.5, 3 weeks here, and it doesn't look like anything's going wrong at this point, because this is, like I said, probably one of the best defenses I've ever seen. Now, I'll get into some other questions now. McClainer, what happened to that bottom box? I didn't really show it off. I just told them, basically, it's a rated base. Right at the bottom, you were rated. Was that your first base, or what's the story?
That was our first base that we built, like, to get everything started and jump started, but we had an insider problem, so we had to, like, move the base up, and he was slowly starting the inside. I secretly joined a call with him. He was about to unclaim all. I demodded him and kicked him. Then he TP'd people into the base. So me and New patched it all up, and then stayed up to 7 a.m. moving the space to where it is right now.
Holy God, dude. That blew my mind. I couldn't even focus on that for a second. All right. So there's this guy inside in that bottom base. None of these top boxes existed. And you were kind of telling me earlier this insider was like grabbing the spawner, or like, what was it that you guys would stay and shift and, you know, pick up the spawner items and then sell it for money, right?
Yeah, so basically one of my members would grind the blaze and get like all of the dubs full to like sell all at once.
Yep.
And so he'd like, I guess, go up the ladder while grinding like basically the vines right there, steal all the dubs, just go warp shop / back, warp shop / back to sell them. And then like it was just really making us mad. And then he said he'd use it to buy spawners the next day, never did. And then that's when he continued his inciting plan but failed.
Dang. So he had this big, like, drawn out plan. He was basically stealing money from you on the inside, and he TP'd people in, but he was gonna, like, if he unclaimed all, this whole corner would be game over. You guys would have lost it right there. But instead, you joined the call in the nick of time, and he was in it. You secretly joined and heard his plan and quickly kicked him before he could do any more damage.
Yep.
Damn, dude. That is a beast inside story. Holy God. That's a scary moment. But you guys pulled it off. You've obviously moved up and gotten rid of that base down there. No longer usable, of course. Good for you guys, dude. Good for you guys. That's a clutch kick, I guess. One more question I got. Has anyone been close to raiding this thing?
No, but right before we started to like move the base up and all that, we only had 4 walls at the time, and one of our main allies now, Diversity, tried to raid them, got all the walls down, and we had a dry layer over the base at the time, so they could have just like used a scatter cannon to get right in.
Dang.
And from that, I talked to them that night. We became like main allies. Basically the next day, we started building all these walls, and now they have a Titan base right next to ours. We're in a neighborhood together.
Dude, kill him with kindness. You used your words and you stopped him from raiding you. And now you're best friends. So they've got a base right beside you. Like, obviously with the what is it? 5 chunks, 6 chunks? I don't even know my own server rule.
It's a 4 chunk like claim or whatever, but they're 6 chunks away right now.
They're 6 chunks away, and they've got another cool base. I'm quickly gonna show the viewers. So yeah, I flew about 6 chunks here, ladies and gents, and this is the Diversity base. Your guys' like best friend. Of course, this area in between is unclaimed. That's a new Archon rule to make it more fair. But they've got like they're still, you know, getting the source blocks with the dirt and everything going, but they got a lot of walls too. Not as many as you guys, of course, but holy God, there's something with Factions Red people. You guys are crazy with your oceans and stuff. I love it though, boys. I love it. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to tour your base today, guys. Factions Red, Ethereal. Are you guys, you want to say anything to anyone who wants to raid you, or do you just say stay away, or do you challenge them to raid you? What's your take?
Have fun.
We challenged them.
We challenge them. That's what I like to hear, dude. Confidence. Well, boys, nice meeting you. It was a pleasure, and good luck on your journey here on Factions Red. Ladies and gentlemen, the calculations are in. It's time to find out how much this monster of a base is worth. Keep in mind, it's not going to get to the prices that we saw before the reset, just because people are still building up funds, building up spawners. It takes weeks and weeks of work in order to build up the kind of prices we were seeing, I guess, last season of Factions. So, first off, before we get into the calculations today, I always ask you to leave a name for the base. So last episode, the winner and the name I chose, coming in from a well-known commenter, Kyle Silly Gaming, I would name this base Unbreakable, because it is as breakable as bedrock. I don't know, I couldn't pass it up. I see this guy's comments all the time, of course, very appreciative of the support. And, you know, I always like to give other people a chance, but I was looking through, and I couldn't say no to this one. Unbreakable, because even though the title of last episode was like the real unrateable base, and it's true, Unbreakable just suits that so perfectly. So thank you for your comment. Leave your comments down below with which you think this base should be named, and also with, you know, your faction color, your IGN, if you want me to tour your base next Saturday. All right. Based on 3 Iron Golem spawners, 36 Blaze spawners, 16 Dubs of Prop 4, 3 stacks of God Apples, 28 Bedrock, and $2.5 million worth of miscellaneous items, the total value for this base here on Factions Red on pvp.thearchon.net is $51,740,000. Woo! Congratulations, Factions Red, Ethereal. Huge base, absolutely magnificent base. The walls themselves just go to show how much time and how much effort has went into this thing. I wish these guys the best of luck here on the Archon in their Factions battle. And yeah, I thank you all for watching today's episode of Factions Base Tour. Make sure you check out the main show if you haven't already, and tune in for, you know, the next Base Tour episode coming out next Saturday. Have yourselves a beautiful day, everybody. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.